Welcome back to the game room. We have a few game related pickups, an arcade related pickup, not as in a whole arcade, that'd be nice, but I've run out of room here, so just something to go into an arcade. I've got some vinyl pickups and a couple of CDs as well. So let me show you what we got, and we'll talk about prices and other things along the way. And I'll try and talk about which ones I'm going to sell, which ones I'm going to keep, and so on. Okay, starting with games. I've got a couple of Wii games here. These were cheap. These were $1, maybe $2 a piece. It's going back a little bit now, so it's hard to remember. I think they were $2 a piece. So I have Lego Rock Band, and this is the game that neither I nor my sons will play. We don't have the bits that go along with it. You need at least some type of instrument or a microphone to play this one, I believe. So it is not one that we will be keeping. It'll be hopefully one that sells. It's not going to sell for a great deal of money, but hopefully it sells for something. Rabbids Go Home is another one that will be for sale. Really, my kids are only interested in things going back as far as, say, Wii U, and not really the Wii era. The setup that it takes to set up the Wii and Wii games and all the little pieces, and quite often there's different requirements for different games. It's a bit of a pain, and so we don't use it a great deal anymore. So that one's for sale as well. The two of those were from a local op shop, and I did not find any other games along with these ones, so these were the only two in there. It'd be nice to find a console or something in the shop or the local op shops that I go to, because I find a bunch of games but never any consoles. I'm not sure if that's because they get shipped to other stores or what the reasoning behind that is. So I went to a cash converters that's close by to where I live, and I picked up this one. My eldest son and I enjoy playing Star Wars Battlefront 1, the versus mode, and some of the co-op. I think, yeah, there's some co-op versions in that as well. This one has some split screen options as well. I picked it up for $19, which online it normally goes for around $24 or so, and that was not a bad price. The day that I bought this, I went home, I installed it on the Xbox, and then was planning on playing it the next day. The next day I jumped onto the Xbox to have a go with my son, and it came up as part of Xbox's their Game Pass, that they've done a deal with EA. So we get EA games now as well on Xbox Game Pass, and that was there. So I'm wondering whether to sell this one or whether to hold on to it. I'll probably hold on to it because later on, when we don't have the Xbox Game Pass at some stage, or when things change and EA may not be a part of it, or they drop this game, it'd be nice to have this one for when my other sons grow up and we've got some other split screen games to have a go at. At that same cash converters, I purchased a bunch of cheap Xbox 360 titles. Some of these don't go for much online, as in on eBay and things like that, and some of them go for a little bit more, but they're pretty cheap ones. So 007 Quantum of Solace. I have not played this one. I've seen a few things on it that say it's okay. $3 for that one was a good price, complete, and the disc is in nice condition. Actually, all these ones, the discs are in nice condition. I make sure to check that before I pick them up. So $3 for that one. Gears of War 3. I have not played Judgment on Xbox 360. I've played through Gears of War number 1, 2, and 3 before, all with a mate to play with. which is the best way to play Gears of War, and this one is definitely my least favourite of number 1, 2 and 3. So I haven't played Judgment, as I said before. I haven't played Judgment, so maybe that will be my least favourite, but it's either this one or Judgment that I would say are probably the weaker ones in this franchise. $3 for that one. Pretty good price. When my boys are old enough to play that one, it'd be nice to go back and play those, but they're a long way off of that one. It's too violent for them at this stage. Halo Reach, $3. Already have this one. I have a couple of Xbox 360 consoles, so I do have 2 copies of Halo 4 to play, like 2 TVs and 2 consoles, and to play any of those type of modes that allow that. So Halo Reach, I grabbed that one for the same purpose with the manual. $3, pretty good price. It is a cheap one on eBay. Mirror's Edge is one that I guess I've been looking for a long time for a good price. $2 is a great price for this one. As you can see, EB Games had it for $29. The most that they've ever dropped that by, it's gone down to perhaps around $10 or so. But it is always one that I come across that it's too expensive when I find it. So $2 is definitely the cheapest that I've seen it, especially complete with manual and in good condition. I hear that this one is a first-person parkour type of game, that there's not much shooting in this one. I think it should be a fun one to try out. Another one that I've been looking for a good price for a while, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. I don't know anything about the Warhammer universe. I do know a little bit about this game. It's a third-person shooter for $2. Again, with the manual, is a great price. I hear that it is a good game. I don't play as many third-person as I do first-person shooters, but I think it should be fun. Right, LA Noire, Rockstar game. A game that is good, and I did own it originally when it first came out. This one, $3 is a great price for that. It is a 3-disc game. Came with the manual, all 3 discs are in good condition. It is a game that I would say is overrated. I think it's good, but there are people that rave about this as being an amazing title. I don't think it's that at all. It is a game that you play as an investigator. You are looking at people's facial animations and their facial emotions to try and figure out whether they're innocent or guilty, if they're trying to hide something, if they have more information than they're actually telling you, if they're withholding, and you make decisions based on what you see. It's also about the verbal cues you get as well. But it's a hard thing because it required a lot of facial capture, so facial animation capture, and I don't think the technology was quite there yet. So they tried things that were very new and were kind of cutting edge, but it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite hit home, and you end up making decisions based on facial tics or animations or things that you think, oh yeah, they're holding something. They've turned away and they've looked up and they kind of look like they might be a bit stressed. But it's hard to tell because it was an Xbox 360 game. If they tried this again, I think they would get a lot closer than they did at being able to convey those things. But it just doesn't hit home. In saying that, you can work your way around it without needing to be perfect. So even if you make mistakes and things, you can still play through the whole game. Is it worth playing? Yes, it is. It's still a lot of fun, and there's been a lot of money put into it, so, and that shows as well. It is a Team Bondi game, so from Sydney, Australia, just well, a long way south of where I'm living in Queensland, but it's nice that we had an Australian company on such a big release back in the day. Now there's a lot more, I guess, focus on Australian companies and gaming, game development, but this was one of the big ones. Unfortunately, it's marred by a lot of controversial workplace practices, as in, if you looked it up online, you would see a lot of information on that one. So good to have, but in my opinion, a little bit overrated. That was it from Cash Converters. I went to an op shop, which in America, those are called thrift shops. We call them op shops, as in opportunity shops. Found this one for $2. It is Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds on PC. I wasn't sure if that would be one that would be worth a little bit of money or not. It's not worth very much. For that reason, I have decided to keep this one for now. It is a strategy game. So there are a few Star Wars strategy games, but this one, what year are we looking at? This is somewhere between 2002 and 2006. So it's, I guess, one of the later Star Wars strategy games that you'll find. And this one came with the add-on pack in it as well. Yeah, which are two disc copy. Right, that was it for video games, physical video games, but while I was at my local op shop, I did find this. Now, this is called a Ledberg. It's from IKEA, and what it is, and I wasn't quite sure if it was going to work when I found it, but all of my arcade machines, so I've got 4 with marquees, and all of them have a light that backs the marquee except for one. And so I look for these for cheap. Anything that you can pop behind there to light up a marquee. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does look really good with a bit of light when you turn the lights off and you've got a little bit of light coming through that marquee. This one is perfect because it's an LED light. It has a switch in it which will not come in handy in the arcade. You just leave that one on and it will plug in. It has its own power adapter, which is great, and it was an Australian one. Quite often trying to get these cheap at places like the big hardware places and things like that, you're going to spend over $20 on popping up a cheap LED light to go in behind a marquee. If you buy them from overseas, then you have to find someone who's going to be able to wire an Australian PowerPoint piece on there. So to get this one that's already set up, even though it's a circle, I can still use it. I'll still find a way to mount that and to have it shine through. That is going to be for my Daytona, my pretend Daytona arcade machine. And so very happy with that for $6. I love going to the op shops and finding little bargains like this, ones that end up saving a lot of money down the track. So as I said, something that would normally cost well over $20, maybe $25 or so, if I can find that for $6, it's worth holding out and not doing a job straight away to see if you can find something like that. I've got a few music pickups recently to show you. I just picked up these ones today, these very quickly. Green Day International Super Hits, the CD. So it's like almost a best of. That was $2. I'm not a massive Green Day fan, but I do like some of their older songs, so it was nice to find that one with the older songs on there, as well as some of the newer ones. And Incubus Make Yourself, one that I used to listen to back when I was around 18 or so, and so that one was $1. And let's have a look here. So at one of my local op shops, they had a bunch of not new, but they had stock come in of vinyl records, and this one was there. And I had a look on the back, and something that I look for when I'm looking at records is anything that is 1990 and newer is worth looking to see if it's worth any money. This one is Nas. It Was Written. And Nas It Was Written is quite a rare LP, especially to find one of the original pressings, which as far as I can tell, this one is exactly that. So it still has the shrink wrap over the front. It has been cut and used before. It's got the lyric sheet in there with the record. This one, there are no completed listings of this on Australian eBay. Overseas, this one tends to go for around 100 Australian dollars plus, and then postage on top of that. So hopefully I'm able to flip that one, and like everything else, put the money towards something that I'd really like instead. Same bunch of records, found this one. This is an Australian punk band from the 80s. This one is, the band is called Gash, and is called, the album is called Positive Change. It is a gatefold, which is the fold there, and it is one that is quite rare as well. Couldn't find any listings that had been completed with this one, couldn't find any for sale. We'll see how that one goes. I've had to listen to it. It's not really something that I would want to hold on to. So hopefully it can find a home somewhere with somebody who remembers or would enjoy that one. Oh, I forgot to mention. Nas record was $4. Gash was $4. And I got this one, John Williams and the Boston Pops 1984 Space Odyssey. This is a collection of John Williams themes from the movies that he has scored. I got this one for just a bit of fun for my sons and I to listen to, for the Star Wars themes. It also has Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it has a bunch of other ones like Alien, but some wouldn't know that one. E.T., Superman. Big ones. Big reason I got this was for Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark. This one was $6. When I looked this one up on eBay, it actually goes for around $25. So good saving there. Not that I would buy it for $25, but that's part of it, isn't it? That's why I go hunting for these things. I've had this one before, the Beach Boys. This one was $2. Greatest hits, not in good shape. Record scratched, but plays. The back is writing on it. It's all falling apart. $2 is not too bad. I'll pass that one on to my dad. He listens to records as well, so if I can get some cheap, then I can share a few as well. Some that he does not have. This one was $4. This is an Indigenous Australian called Joe, I think it's pronounced Gaia? Maybe Gaia? Not quite sure. I've had a listen to this one. It's pretty good. It's got some good songs on it. It's got some ones that I won't listen to again, but Yulal, but I think it's pronounced Yulale. It is one that I'll keep for myself. I only bought it to listen to in here, not for resale purposes. Okay, this little set here was something that I didn't think I'd be getting in one hit. I have some Creedence Clearwater Revival albums already. I have Pendulum, I have Cosmo's Factory, and I have Bike County, or is it Country? And then I was looking out for the rest. I thought, well, because they got the 6 big hits, the 6 big releases of their time, and then that was it, I thought I would see if I could collect the lot. I've also got a best of, but it's fun to have all the songs that don't make it to the best of as well. So there was a seller on eBay. They had put these up for auction. I saw each one of these go up. So Creedence, what do we have here? Willie and the Poor Boys, Mardi Gras, and Green River. And I thought, I wonder how much they would take for the 3. It was a seller down in Sydney and in Byron Bay. So I messaged and said, I'm interested in all 3. Would you do a price on the 3 of them? He said, sure. I'll do, it was $33. So that's with postage. So $11 a piece all up, which is an amazing deal considering I've paid over $20 for each of the other ones that I have. Really happy to get all 6 now. This one was their last Mardi Gras, and by that time they went from a band of 4 down to a band of 3 when the 2 brothers that were in the band, 2 Fogarty brothers, they were bluing just before this one, and one of them ended up leaving the band. John Fogarty stayed in, and this one is considered to be not a very good album, but I listened to it and I actually still enjoyed it. I think if they weren't as big as they were, then this would have more love. Because the other albums are so good, then when this one came along and wasn't the same, then I think it got a little bit of hate that it doesn't deserve. Last one. This one went cheap. This was around $25 on eBay. I won an auction for this one. Enter Shikari, A Flash Flood of Colour. I really like Enter Shikari. Have seen them live only once before, but they are a great band. Really strange, really interesting stuff that they do. And this one is supposed to be a limited edition. They always say limited edition, don't they? This one is the white pressing, which was there were only 500 of those white pressings, but then when you look into it, there's so many other colours and they're all 500 a piece, so not as limited as it first seems. But for around $25 for one of my favourite albums was a bargain. I've already got this one on CD, but as I said, this one is one of my absolute favourites. So nice to get that one to play around with on the record player as well. That is it. Thank you for watching the Game Room. Hopefully I'll hit you up with some more videos. At the moment I'm averaging about one a week. I don't know if I can keep that up, or if I will keep that up, or if things will change. So we will wait and see. Thank you for watching. If you found this video and this is your first one, please have a look at my others. If you have not subscribed, and then please do that. I have very little watchers and subscribers. I do this just purely for the fun of doing it. So please come and join and have a look around at the other videos, see if you like anything else. Thanks very much for watching. Please join me in the next one.